Broadcasting live worldwide.
Hi, Daddy.
Ariel, can you say have faith?
Again.
On June 16th, 2018, a show designed for you, the Daily Commuter, went live. A weekly show all about faith. A show with motivational topics, inspirational stories, and personal testimony set out to change the world.
Hello, my name is Amari, and today we are back on another episode of Have Faith and Let's Begin. Hi, my name is Isabella, and you're listening to Have Faith, Let It Begin.
Hi, I am Mia. You are listening to Have Faith, Let It Begin.
Welcome to Have Faith. Let it begin. Here's your host, Angel Santana.
Can you say have faith, let it begin? Huh? Yeah. Yeah. Daddy loves you. Daddy loves you. Ariel, can you say have faith?
Again.
Let it begin?
Again.
Say have faith.
Again.
Let it begin.
No.
No? Okay.
Ten seconds to go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very special edition of Have Faith, Let It Begin. My name is Angel, and it is with great pleasure that I introduce all of you to somebody who has inspired me, someone who I'm very honored to have on this show. And quite honestly, before everyone starts to say, wait a minute, what are you doing, Angel? This is not a political show. However, it is somebody that I've got a chance to meet and again has inspired me enough to break my fourth wall and have her on the show, because I really believe that this is a show based on personality, based on inspiration and personal testimonies. Well, guess what? I have a person here that is running for the legislature of Orange County. Her name is Patricia Maher. Welcome to Have Faith, Let It Begin.
Thank you so much, Angel, and thank you for having me.
Excellent.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes, and you know, right off the bat, I just want to thank you very much for taking the time. I will say, in my past, I've tried to reach out to some people. I literally, just to give a quick funny story, you rang my Ring doorbell, and I was out, and I was out having pizza with my daughter, my wife, and I recognized you because God knows there's a lot of signs locally. But I recognized you and I said, hey, would you like to be, I'd like to get involved and maybe, have you on my show. And you responded like immediately.
Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest challenge of putting yourself out there is people don't know you. And you really, at this stage of the game, that's the most important thing to me, is just getting people to know who I am and why I want to do this.
And that's a great segue, because that's why I wanted you on the show. I want the people to know who you are. And for the record, we've only spoken in person on this Zoom for the last maybe 15 minutes, but I've researched you and I heard and I read your background, and that is what inspired me. So this is really a first time interaction between the two of us.
Yes, it is.
And I want that to be known, because this way they know that we haven't tried anything. We haven't come up with any pre-scripted things. Yes, I talked about things that I don't want to cover because of my faith-based show. But other than that, this is right off the hip. We're shooting with this.
Yes, we are. Very genuine. Doesn't get any more transparent than this.
Exactly. So let's transition into this. I want to give you what I saw that got me really inspired by you. On your actual page there, and also on your banners and everything, there's a picture of you and your children and your husband, and it's got these words that my Have Faith family will recognize: integrity, work ethic, actually, and family. So let me do that again: integrity, work ethic, and family. And then I read the following: as a mother, a manager, and as a community service leader, Patricia knows that it takes hard work to make an impactful difference. What do you plan on doing to make that difference for our local community?
Well, those three words that you said are the pillar of my campaign. When I decided to put myself out there to make a run for office, it wasn't a decision I came to lightly. As you know, and you've said, I'm not a political person. I'm just a hardworking mother. In fact, I started working when I was 14 years old, and I haven't stopped working since.
Wow.
And yeah, I'm someone that typically has two, sometimes three jobs, just to make sure that, the bills were being met. So um, working to me was always the number one priority. And then obviously we started to have a family, and now my number one responsibility is, being the best mom I can to my daughter Brooklyn, who's 4 now, and my son Hendrix, who's 8 months. And then I'm also a stepmother. I have two amazing stepchildren, Madeline and Cooper, and now they're my number one priority.
Wow, that's
uh,
amazing.
I also started, my mother-in-law lives with us, and she is someone who needed a little bit more medical attention than what we could give her here in the home. So that's kind of what spearheaded me running. I reached out to find out what kind of programs we had here in Orange County to really help give her the best medical care possible. And I was kind of disappointed, to be quite honest. It really fueled me enough to want to say, you know what, we need to make some changes. My mother-in-law has worked so hard her entire life. And the more that I get out there and the more that I meet people, the more that this resonates with so many individuals in our county and in our local community, where you're getting to the last chapters of your life and they need help. And that's when I said something more needs to be done. And if this is what it takes to get in there and to make changes happen, then I'm willing to put myself out there and hopefully make these positive changes occur.
And that's a beautiful sentiment. And not only that, but thoughts and prayers for her and if it's a recovery or just keeping her, comfortable. We'll be definitely putting her on that here on our show. You said something, and I want to, I want to keep this always in a very positive light. You said at 14 years of age. I got to ask, what was your first job at 14?
I was a newspaper girl.
Oh, me too. What?
Yeah,
Okay, all right.
14.
All right, cool. Now, my first job was at the Frosty Freeze. I think, is
Okay.
it still called Frosty Freeze in our town?
It is, yes.
Okay. I lasted a day because I
Oh.
couldn't make a cone. I quit.
Oh,
But
that
it's okay
happens.
because you know what? It's first jobs. I've talked about that before. I had to throw that out there. That's kind of funny. All right. So, now talk to me about this. So what made you decide? I mean, obviously you have some inspiration there. You're taking care of a mother-in-law. Was this always the plan for you, or did you always have a passion? What would people not know about you that's maybe not on your website? Who is Patricia?
Well, I've always been raised to give back as much as possible, right? My parents raised us right here in the village of Walden, born and raised here my whole life. And, we would go to church every Sunday, and whenever we could donate our time to different causes, we did. And, I'm doing the same thing with Dickie and with our kids. And you always see us, I'm sure, out there in the community, just doing whatever we can. I helped to co-found Hudson Valley Honor Flight back in 2012. So that was probably my first big undertaking where I had to go beyond my comfort zone of, people that I know and reach out to community members and to reach out to, people in powerful positions and say, okay, we need to make some changes. And this is something that we want to do for our veterans. And I was 24 or 25 when we first started Honor Flight. And looking back at who I was then, and I was in boardrooms with people in suits and against the New Jersey Transit, and we were trying to get flights, charter flights coming in from Stewart, and we were trying to explain our passions and why it was a good idea to put 100 World War II veterans on an airplane, and why they should believe in us to make that happen. And I think coming out of my comfort zone then at such a young age just made everything else that happened after that, a success for me. So
Wow.
definitely putting yourself out there is not easy. But the benefits of what comes about when you do that is more than worth it. I say this a lot. If nothing changes, nothing changes.
Mm.
And I say that to my kids. I say that to, my friends, if they're going through an issue, it's just sometimes change is really hard, but if you don't put yourself out there and try to make something happen, then nothing will change.
Yeah, I agree with that. And for those of you that are not familiar with this, I want to bring up 2 points. One, Dickie is her husband. He doesn't like to be called Richard because that's just what that's his nickname. So I had the privilege of going to school with him. I don't know him anything other than Dickie. I remember him being called Richard, but I don't think that's just gone. so that way, just people understand who he is. And for as far as the Flight for Seniors, that's for Flight for Seniors and veterans to have access to the services they fightfully deserve. That's the motto. Is that correct?
Right.
Yeah,
It's we started off with World War II veterans, but we are currently taking veterans from all wars.
Wow, and that's awesome. And you know what? If anybody's had an opportunity, if you're local, I remember driving by. I think they moved locations. You're in that building where now I'm dating myself. I think it was KeyBank back in the day. This building, it's right next to Mills Paul.
Yes,
Furniture.
that's where we are, right in the corner of Main
them.
Street.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's awesome. Listen, now I want to get into a little bit more controversial. I'm going to put myself out there tonight. I have never been a person that voted for local elections. I'm going to be very honest. And I apologize for that. I'm going to apologize for that because I only waited for the big elections. And as I got older, and now being a father of a 2-year-old daughter, I realized that it is very important to know who your legislators are, know who the people are that's running your town. Because at the end of the day, if you don't get involved, if you're not a participant, then you can't complain, number one, but not only that, you don't know what's happening in your town. And one of the things that really struck me about your campaign was there's no negative tone toward your opposition. Yet letters that got in my mail were pretty nasty and slanderous toward you. I have always been a very, very big advocate for having a clean type of election. We don't get that. Let's be real, right? I respect you for that. Can I ask this hard question? And if you don't want to answer it, you don't have to. Why do you think, let me rephrase that. That person went that way. We're not going to give the name. I didn't get permission to use his name, so we're not going to. But why do you think you're different from that person just based on the fact that you don't need to slander someone else? What makes you different?
Well, I think when I first started this, I keep my why in mind, and that's my mother-in-law, my Mima. And I keep my family in mind because that's who I'm trying to make the future better for. And that's my purpose. My purpose was never to get into this to make anyone else look bad or to say to someone else that they're not doing their job right. That's not why I, decided to raise my hand for this. So my whole campaign has always been focused on just what my vision is, what positive changes I think we need to make. I think the county under the leadership of Steve Newhouse is doing so great. And I really just want to keep that greatness going and make it even better. But during this past year with COVID and with, the election, it was such a challenging time for our country. And I just felt like there's so much divide already that in our local community, we don't need that right now. That's not what's going to bring people together. And I was very disappointed. And I mean, I'm going to be very honest with you. I cried over this. Like, this is something that really impacted me. I have thick skin. I get that from my parents, but this was something that I was not expecting at this level to have someone go after me and my family and to try to, say false things and lies and go after our character. And it was very difficult, but I chose the high road and from the beginning, and there's 2 weeks left in this election. I'm not going to change my stance now. I think that if anything, we just need more positivity in our community. It's important to me that everyone takes the time to do their research and get to know me as best as possible. I have been working so hard just trying to get out there, and I knocked on your door and I didn't know who you were, and now look, here we are today. So I'm just trying to get out there and meet as many people as possible. And honestly, Angel, it's meeting people that's really driving me even more with what I hope to do, and getting to hear what their concerns are. And I'm getting new visions for some ideas that we need in this community. So
Wow. And a couple more points, and then we're going to wrap this up because but you've touched on this about the whole election. So let's talk about the date. You corrected me actually earlier before we went on the air. I knew that the date was June 22nd, but if I'm correct, there's early voting now.
yes, so you can actually already start to get your absentee ballots in if you think that you're not going to be around on June 22nd, or if you're someone like me who works multiple jobs and has kids, and sometimes you forget to go to the election poll. I think 12% of registered voters come out to vote in primary elections. It's such a low turnout. So if you're one of those people, we understand, but that's what absentee ballots are for. And I would encourage you to fill out your absentee ballot. It's a very easy process. You can do it right from your phone.
Oh, wow.
And early voting in person, if you like to vote in person, most people do, that starts June 12th. So you can start voting in person June 12th, and that's going to be at the Montgomery Senior Center. I'll be posting those dates on the website as well.
Yeah, can you plug your website?
Yes. So votepatriciamaher.com.
Okay.
And you can find me on Facebook as well. And my phone number is 845-328-1476.
And with your permission, I can put that in the links.
Absolutely.
Okay, you were going to say something. I cut you off. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. And then the actual election date is June 22nd.
June 22nd. So who are you going to vote for? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Bad joke. Okay. So, let me also leave on this. We talked about your children. You named them all. I would be lying if I told you I could remember them all. I can't remember how to get back into the kitchen because I, like you, work so many jobs. But my question to you is, how is the support factor there? I mean, it's an honest question.
Yeah.
How's that going?
Well, thankfully right now I just have one job, and
Good.
I'm a mother. And then, my husband has a real estate career that is very demanding, and it is that exact word, Angel. It's all about support. And when he needs extra support, I'm there for him. When I need extra support, he's there for me. It's definitely a balancing act, a lot of communication. And we have a co-parenting situation, so there's even more communication with Madeline and Cooper's mother, and it's just an excellent relationship. And just really making sure that we're all in constant communication, and it just works.
Well, I'm going to leave you with this before I give you the final thought, and you're going to close out the show today.
Okay.
We have a motto here at Have Faith, Let It Begin. We always say the following. I do anyway, and it's very simple. It's, if you're right and you're rude, then you're wrong. And I think that what you have instilled upon us today describes that. And adding to what you have dealt with the negativity, there's another one that I throw out. Don't allow anyone to steal your joy. Always be who you are, be true to yourself, be true to your family, and the rest will happen. We are put on this earth for one reason, to serve a purpose. We have a gift, we have a talent, we have a treasure. We have the ability to create families. We have the ability to create memories that can last a lifetime. It's what you do with that. It's what you put your treasure and your talent to be out there and do what you can, because you're instilling that power, that drive. My goal in life has always been to try to change one person each day. I believe that if people get to hear from you and hear and talk with you, they'll feel the same way. So I will leave you with my words of good luck. I wish you nothing but the very best. My thoughts and prayers for your mother-in-law. And please, as a person that could very possibly be the next legislator, don't forget the people's doors that you knocked on. Always remember the people that got you there. Never forget the time and the effort you took to knock on those doors, and always make a point to thank those that got you in that place. Here's what I will also leave you with to the Have Faith family. One thing about Patricia that I actually enjoyed and I endured about, I'm actually speechless about, was a quote that I read about her. And she wrote, "This is my hometown, and this is where I lay my head to sleep every night." And as a person who lives in this town since 1981, I say thank you. And I wish you nothing but the very best. May God be with you. And as we say in Spanish, que Dios te bendiga. You have the last word.
Gosh, thank you so much, Angel, for that sentiment. It's so true. This community we live in means so much to me. It's an honor to serve the people. And as a legislator, you are the voice of your constituents. And it would be an honor for me to be the voice of everyone in District 17, to be able to really make a difference here in our local government. You know, we can't always control what happens in the country, right? We can't even control what happens in the state. But right here in Orange County, we can really control what happens and make some positive changes that have a direct impact on our future and on our children's future. And I think that is so important. And that's something that I would be honored to do. And if I can inspire some future leaders along the way in our youth and bring forth some new ideas in our community, it would just be such an honor for me to be able to do that and give back to the community that gave me so much.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for your time. And, you know, I'm not a politician. And if at the end of this, I end up not becoming a politician, I'm completely grateful to be a mother and to be a citizen of this community. So thank you, Angel.
Awesome. And for everyone else, I hope you enjoy it. Don't forget to vote. Early voting, absentee voting has already started as of tomorrow, which is going to be June 12th. And of course, if you want to go in person, you can do that on June 22nd at the Montgomery Senior Center. And we will post everything from my site here so that you can go out and do everything you can for the community. For all those out there that we have a big outing also that is not part of Orange County, we want to thank you for taking the time with us to listen to a fellow person who is going to do wonders, I'm sure. And she's just getting started. Everyone, God bless you. Have a great day. And never forget, have faith. Let it begin.